New York City, and I'm a staffer for the Elections Commission. Thank you guys so much for being here, and members of the commission.
Good evening, my name is Jaden Smith. I'm a junior public relations major, sociology minor from Dallas, Texas. And I have the pleasure of serving as the associate elections commissioner of the state class.
Hello everyone, my name is Amari James. I'm a junior political science and sports management double major from Tampa, Florida, and I have the honor of serving as director of undergraduate elections in this school year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trinity Hill. I'm a junior international business major, political science minor from Dallas, Texas, and I have the honor of serving as the associate director for undergraduate elections.
This Speak Out is designed to give candidates an opportunity to share their platforms and plans for their desired position with the student body. It is also an opportunity for the student body to get to know the candidates in a more intimate setting beyond campaign posters and flyers. First, the candidates will be answering moderated questions that have already been prepared. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Then we will have an audience question portion of the Speak Out where candidates will again have 30 seconds to answer. Please do not exceed your time limit. The first question is, what are the 2 issues? Oh, also, before you guys begin, you guys will have 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform. We'll start at the end and then go down. And then go from there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cortland Marcotte, a freshman political science major from Alexandria, Louisiana, and my platform is built on now, not tomorrow, but now, with the 3 core pillars establishing this as accessibility, accountability, and most importantly, authenticity, so that we can foster a more cohesive campus that is not looking towards tomorrow, but looking for now for change. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Micah Thomas. I am a biology major on the pre-dental track, chemistry, and Spanish double minor. And my platform is called MOVE, Mobilize, Openness, Vocalize, and Enhance. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy, and my platform is The Senate Seat is Yours, but I Sit in It. My platform pillars are empowerment, representation, and accessibility. Basically, it's the diversity of voices. Your voice is my mission.
Hello, everybody. My name is Demaria Ruffin. I am a freshman political science major from Belleville, Illinois. My platform is called Insecure. So it is inclusive, nurturing, supporting, ensuring. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Clemson Nesbitt, and I am a computer science major freshman from Jamaica, and my platform is built around the concept of ask and you shall receive. It is based on the idea of trying to minimize the time that it takes for students to have an issue, bring it up, and have it solved. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kazavion Harris. I'm a freshman political science major from Dallas, Texas, and my platform is Your Choice, Your Voice, Your Voice, which ultimately means that we all together have to come together on issues. So let's make a change that speaks volume, shall we? And also, at the end of the day, if no one speaks, if no one speaks, what does that do for the people that comes after us? It's disadvantage.
And thank you, candidates. So the first question is, what are the top 2 issues facing the freshman class? And what steps will you take to remedy these issues if elected?
Thank you for that question. I believe the top 2 most pertinent issues facing the freshman class right now is number 1, engagement, and number 2, the fostering of what leadership truly means on this campus. First of all, engagement is very important. If we can't engage with student leaders, then we can't get anything done. So these promises that we're about to talk about have no progress. Secondly, when looking at that, we have to understand that student leadership is not a sense of nobility. We're a community. Our platforms need merely permission. That's the 2 biggest issues facing our class right now.
The 2 issues I feel like our class heavily struggles with is safety within our campus. As of right now, with this current administration, most of our students, their safety is in danger, where we have international students who are in the or who are in danger of being taken away from their education and not fulfilling the goals that they want to achieve here at Howard. And then I feel like our second most important or harmful danger is the lack of mobilization of our class. I feel like as a class, we need to be together and mobilize and act on decisions as a whole together without someone being taken over. Thank you.
The two issues that I believe would be community. I was at freshman seminar and I've seen a lot of people talk about imposter syndrome, how sometimes they don't feel like they're fitting in. And I feel like sometimes we do have cliques and we do have people who often feel left out or don't have a voice. So I definitely feel like those are one of the issues. Safety is a big one. I've been around DC. I've walked off of campus, I've literally encountered like somebody screaming at me, trying to literally fight me. So I feel like safety does matter a lot, and I feel like with the National Guard out, and I feel like you're new to this city and you're like walking. Of course, you're gonna explore. Of course, you're gonna go places. You need to feel safe and be aware. So I feel like safety is definitely a big issue that people have been talking about. Thank you.
I feel like the two most prominent issues in the freshman class would be one, engagement with upperclassmen. I feel as if we should have probably a mentorship program that incoming freshmen, they have maybe someone who's like a junior or a senior guiding them, because I feel as if right now we don't know our upperclassmen, or it kind of feels like taboo to even talk to them. And then secondly, I feel as if safety is really a big issue right now. I feel as if whenever I'm walking down the street on 4th Street, seeing all these undercover cops, seeing all this random policing, excessive policing that shouldn't be happening, I feel as if I hear other people talking about it and they feel as if they're unsafe. And I want our campus to feel more safe and welcoming. Thank you.
Good evening again. I believe that the two main issues that freshmen face in our year is firstly communication from the administration and mainly from the administration. And I can speak to my experiences with those issues. I've sent several emails during the summer in trying to apply to Howard University and have gotten very few responses. And so I would like to find a way, whether it be through the administration or through upperclassmen, the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, to find a way for me to better understand what's going on campus and what things I really need to actually succeed at Howard University. And then the second issue is cost of attendance. I think that we need to find more ways to pinch pennies, essentially, because a penny saved is a penny earned. Thank you.
For me, there's not just two issues that we can just say off the bat. I mean, I can show you better than I can tell you. Raise your hand if you agree with the following. If you agree that freshmen deserve more scholarship opportunities, raise your hand. If you agree that freshmen deserve better housing, they deserve better dining, they deserve better real-time staff advocacy, raise your hand. If you agree that as freshmen, we pay some unnecessary student fees, raise your hand. See, there's more than one, but we can't just talk about one. It's your choice, it's your voice that we have to go off of. You're gonna help us, all of us. You're gonna help us represent you. So your problems are our problems. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. For our second question is, how do you plan to collaborate across other branches of student government to make sure every voice of the freshman class is heard?
Okay, well, my plan would be more of and the Constitution has nothing about freshmen as far as meeting. Even when people get into your certain schools and get elected and everything, we don't meet. So basically you're saying whatever happens in your school and you're giving that to the executive board. We need to have more meetings. Why do freshmen not have any meetings together talking about freshman issues? Thank you. We need to have, we need to have more meetings about it, and that's what I would do if elected. Have these forums. It doesn't matter if you're running, it doesn't matter if you're not. We need everybody, because it's gonna take all of us to make a change at our university. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, could you repeat the question?
How do you plan to collaborate across other branches of student government to make sure every voice of the freshman class is heard?
I believe that the best way to do that is to, I believe that the best way to do that is to have representatives from other branches of student government in the Senate. There is a practice that I'm aware of in engineering where people that are designing things, actually, I can't discuss that right now. But it is important to have representatives from different branches of the body working together, such that you have collaboration among them all, and that issues can be solved as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Right, thank you.
Hello, I believe with us working with Campus Life, it would kind of help us, well, that's the branch I want us to work more with, Campus Life to increase engagement. I feel as if we have events, but I feel as if like we don't hear about different events, we don't have accessibility to different resources that we have, like certain resources, like I didn't know that I was able to, like I had money on my printing thing. I feel like that's something that a lot of freshmen don't know until they actually get down to having to print. I was stressed out, like how am I gonna print this, that, and the third. So I think us working with Campus Life and them being more open to what we have, like what we're accessible to, will be better.
What I believe, I feel like what you don't, I feel like here you have to know stuff for you to go for it. I know there's a lot of opportunities where some freshmen are like, oh, I wish I'd known that. And then people are like, what you know for, you have to like fight. I think it's like normalized here that you have to fight to know something. Like it's not always just a straight direction to it. So I would like to, like with student association, I would like to, and with Campus Life, just giving more opportunities to freshmen, because I feel like some people coming here, they can be sitting in these same seats as us, but they're not here because they just don't know, because you have to like, I feel like it's normalized here to fight, to get like opportunities.
I feel like this question pertains to two of my pillars, openness and vocalize. I want to create more open forums for students to express their concerns about their experience here on Howard and the things that they want to be improved on. So I want to open a forum for that, for students to express that, and then also to vocalize. As a senator, you need to vocalize the needs of your students to the Senate and express that to them through your position, and then use that to bring action to what needs to be done. Thank you.
In terms of the collaboration, I'm sick of meetings. It's all we talk about. Let's meet. No, let's listen to freshman voices, which is why under my pillar of accountability, I'm proposing a constitutional referendum. That's the direct lifeline to providing every single freshman to vote on adding or amending the Constitution that is inherently flawed, that freshman leaders aren't seen as leaders. We act adjacent to executive councils and senators who are present here today. How can we collaborate when we aren't even seen as a part of student association in the beginning? Thank you. No shade.
Thank you, candidates. So for the third question, what's one specific piece of legislation you plan to draft during your term that would directly affect freshmen? We'll start from the other.
This just goes back to my middle pillar, which is accountability. It is a proposed constitutional referendum. In that constitutional referendum, we will mandate that freshman senators must attend town halls, and that these freshman council must hold these town halls adjacent to the already established executive town halls that are already held. Secondly, another bill that I would like to propose is actually allowing for information to be proposed to students in advance. We talk a lot about solving things about financial aid. I don't have the power to do that according to the Constitution, but what I do have the power to do is propose a bill to let students know that things are happening. 72 hours in advance, people should know if the buses are not working. People should know if the Bursar is closed. People should know what the Howard University administration is proposing, and they should know it now.
One act I would like to propose is an act on safety. We currently, like I said before, the administration at hand is currently taxing on our safety for not only students, but for students as a whole. This past month, I went to the gym. I was on the bus. There were police officers watching the bus stop, in the bus, taking students that didn't pay the toll because they didn't have the funds to do so, and we're ticketing them for that. I feel like as a Senate, as people that are here for the students, we should have something that should allow students to have access to transportation that doesn't tax them on the money that they already have to spend for the exorbitant funds that we have to pay to attend this school. Thank you.
Actually, one of the biggest issues I had going here was the lack of communication. Within, I felt like a lot of freshmen, I saw a lot of Howard students getting on being told that they had balances late, and I saw a lot of lack of communication, especially with the housing and everything. That's something that I wanted to change, like you said, because, and I even saw, even freshmen, as a freshman, you just came to college, and I've seen many of my freshman peers posting GoFundMe from the lack of communication, where we could have been told, or we applied for a roommate in like May. We were told late July we would get roommates. We were told about your balances late, and we had like 3 days to start a payment plan. And all of this could have been communicated. Nobody can pull out $12,000. Nobody can be able to get money. Everybody that got into Howard deserves to be here and has a place to be here. So I feel like Howard is not great without the students. So I feel like communication to the students and prioritizing like things like housing, meal plans, and the students would actually.
Hello, I plan on making a bill about transparency. I feel as if Howard is not transparent with his students. For one, there's random fees coming out of my tuition. I don't know where it's going to. I want to know where my money is going. And I feel as if the administration, whenever you ask them, they just want to sweep it under the rug. They want to ignore your emails. So I want us to be more transparent about where our money is going, because it's not cheap to go here. So I think we all deserve to know where it's going. Thank you.
Good evening. I don't have a new bill to propose, but I do know that there are several unsigned bills that I agree with. And the one that comes to mind now is the Pass It Over Act, I believe it's called. And that is where the seniors or students that are leaving the Howard University campus will pass on their furniture or items or things that they will no longer be using as they're leaving the dorms, obviously, to the freshmen. And that way they don't have those things to pay for. And so money saved. Okay, thank you.
For me, I second everything that my other candidates said. But you know what's really frightening, it's kind of scary, is that we don't have representation in the Senate. They will rather you be gullible, like, oh, freshmen, we don't want to have them speak, because guess what? They're gullible, right? The thing is, just like you heard the saying, the South has something to say, for us freshmen have something to say as well. Making our representation known. I mean, even to what Cortland said, I second that. We should know now. We should know things now. Why do we know these things late? I don't know. But that's a problem that we should definitely work on. But you know, another thing is no idea is too small and no idea is too big. Let's go for the gusto. Because guess what? Just like that $64,000 that we had to pay, or we're paying right now trying to figure it out, we're doing it. We can do anything we put our minds to. Let's not be subjected to only little things or little problems. Let's go for the biggest ones that we have. Every problem needs to be solved in some type of way.
As Senator at Large, your position reaches further than just the freshman class. How do you plan to advocate for all students while still uplifting the concerns of freshmen?
Can you repeat the question? We started with him, so.
No.
Could you repeat? Oh, I did just.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
I'll repeat the question. As Senator at Large, your position reaches further than just the freshman class. How do you plan to advocate for all students while still uplifting the concerns of freshmen?
Thank you for the question. All right, so for me, we all know that tuition is very high. I just want to give an example. Well, for scholarships, let's read the inclusive scholarship guidelines, right? There should be more scholarships. If you, we don't have any school, is anybody in school business here? Okay, and you know that you get news, week letters or whatever with a bunch of internships. Why don't other schools have that? Because they get 30 internships in there, like literally, every week. If we had that for scholarships, we would be very, very helpful. It would be very helpful for tuition. But we don't want to talk about GPA. We want to talk about your financial needs. How have you been helping Howard in certain type of ways? Leadership, clubs. Let's make inclusive scholarships and be aware of the inclusive scholarships as well. And that's for all students, not just freshmen.
Thank you for the question. I believe that a good way that I can have an impact on the general student body and on freshmen is another bill that is unsigned that I'm aware of. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's in regards to the Taffy Lion training. It occurs online, which I have found is kind of, you can tap through it and watch videos and answer some questions and you should be fine to pass it. I believe that it is better. I agree with the bill. It says that it's better to have a training in person, and I would also like to expand that and make the training include the Drug and Prescription Act in addition to the alcohol awareness thing, and I think that would be beneficial to all students at Howard University. Thank you.
I believe something, well, thank you for the question. I believe something that is affecting all classes, all grades would be book fees. I believe that we should have a program where it's not like taboo to share your books or maybe like donate books to lower like freshmen or sophomores if you were in that class. I feel like we should have probably a website or anything we can do where we can resell our books for a cheaper price instead of being told that we can't give our books to or sell our books to underclassmen. I feel like that would give us, because I understand like coming in as a freshman, I was swarmed with all these book fees. I gotta pay $121 for Alex. I gotta pay another $50 for an Arabic book. I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. Instead of me being able to find it somewhere cheaper on campus. Thank you.
I believe one problem that affects all classes is communication, like I said. I feel like freshmen were going through housing problems, so were upperclassmen. Freshmen were going through financial issues, so were upperclassmen. So I feel like the lack of communication affected all classes, and that's what I've been trying to advocate a lot on, because I feel like some people are like, why do you go to Howard if you can't afford it? Everybody who fill out an application, there's a 35 acceptance rate for this college. Everybody who is here deserves to be here. So I feel like we shouldn't judge others, and I feel like we need to actually address the bigger problem and advocate and take that risk.
I feel like this question stands on my pillar of enhancement, and I want to enhance the student safety on campus. Instead of having the campus police going after people after being at the Valley per se, use that to help students that have gotten, like, to protect the streets of Howard. I've had friends here that have gotten robbed by random people by Banneker. We can't have that as students. We can't risk the safety of students because that's going to drive them away from being at Howard. And as Howard, we need a strong body of students to maintain the integrity of Howard University.
Could you repeat the question for me one more time?
As senator at large, your position reaches further than just the freshman class. How do you plan to advocate for all students while still uplifting the concerns of freshmen?
Thank you. First of all, in terms of advocacy, we have to recognize what we're advocating for. And everyone spoke to virtues on that up here, but one thing, no one wants to listen. How can we advocate if we don't know the problems of this class? We have to listen. And it goes to the pillars of authenticity under my platform of now. Establishing forums now, establishing think tanks now, listening to freshmen and not meeting now. We're not doing this for tradition because of tradition's sake. We're doing this because we're accommodating for the largest freshman class in American history, and with that, the largest of issues. Thank you.
Thank you. For our final question of the moderated portion, Some student leaders are criticized for being inaccessible or not making good on their work. How will you uphold transparency and accountability in your role?
Thank you. Once again, it goes to my second pillar of accountability, proposing this constitutional referendum. What does a referendum do? It allows us to amend the HUSA Constitution and put it to a vote where every single freshman can decide, do I like this clause that we are amending to the Constitution? And no student leader should be seen as distant or a nobility. Kings do not exist in this campus. We should establish furthermore that leaders should be more accessible on the basis of reforming our Constitution to establish that freshman leaders exist in the first place.
Repeat the question.
Some student leaders are criticized for being inaccessible or not making good on their work. How will you uphold transparency and accountability in your role?
Well, this question stands on my pillar of openness. I am a pretty open person. I'm pretty true to myself, and I like to understand other people's truths as my character. So I want to understand other people's truths and their problems and concerns, and express that to the Senate in the Senate that we currently have. And I complain a lot. Not complain a lot, but I complain. So I'm a complainer, and I will complain for those people to make sure that their needs are met and their concerns are heard.
Actually, one of my pillars are accessibility. Before starting my campaign, I created a Google form asking the freshman class, what are some things that you needed to be seen change, and what was your experience at Howard? Because my one voice, it does not cover everybody else. I think the solution should be just as diverse as the population at Howard. So I believe I'm a very accessible person. I believe creating like a Google form, looking at I went through everybody's response and seeing all the different things, because I don't want to go off my own personal motives. It's your voice and it's my mission. I want to go off everybody's diverse input.
I believe that one way that I can be accessible is by, I believe that, can you repeat the question?
I want to also preface that we can only have the question repeated twice. So we can finish it now, that's fine, but you can only repeat twice on the phone. Okay, thank you.
Some student leaders are criticized for being inaccessible or not making good on their work. How will you uphold transparency and accountability in your role?
Okay, so firstly, if I do get elected, I am being elected by the people, so I have to listen to what they want and not what I want personally. So one way that I will be accessible is obviously by going up to people. I know everything has to be on Instagram. I feel like Instagram it does its job, but I feel as if face-to-face conversation, actually talking to people, actually writing down what they want can hold me accountable, and so I can listen to what people actually want. Only a certain amount of group have Instagram or they're active on Instagram. So I feel as if you're talking to somebody, it's more personal. It's like, oh, they actually care about me. They actually want to hear what I have to say so they can say it to the Senate. So yeah, thank you.
I believe that I would, it would be very difficult for me actually to not make good on the promise that I'm making to the freshman student body. I believe that my idea of ask and you shall receive embodies me quite a bit. I enjoy going up to people and meeting them and talking with them and seeing, how their day is going and what kind of concerns they're having, what they're going through. And that is what I will continue to do as Senate. I will simply have the ability to make change for those people and for those concerns that they voice to me. Thank you.
For mine, it goes back to the slogan, which would be, it's your choice, it's your voice, it's your voice. How we make good on these things is because you have to speak up. It's going to take all of us to make a change, to be honest with you. It is. And the fact how we keep our promises, because it's not just going to be me because I'm representing you, but it's more of the transparency of we have to do this. Like, we have to speak out about these certain issues, because if we don't, we will. And so it's us. So when I went back and said about the forums and different things like that. We have to have our own freshman representation, our own freshman meetings. We have to have these talks because we're not having them. And it's what's happening is we're getting these upperclassmen that think they know what the freshmen want, and certain things they'll leave out. There's bits and cracks in that as well. Let's speak up for ourselves. Let's stand up for ourselves because we're freshmen. And if we don't do it, we will. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have the opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, please make sure that your questions are general, as this is not crossfire and any pointed questions should be reserved for the event. Candidates, you have 30 seconds to answer these questions. Does the audience have any questions?
Good afternoon, everyone. You're all running, special, I understand.
So
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, go ahead.
you can go after her, but
Yeah.
please stand here.
Hello, I'm Janai Levy. I'm a freshman biology major from Bethlehem, Louisiana, and just like in real life, at Howard, the issue is the lack of voting. A lot of freshmen, well, actually all students, they feel like voting doesn't do anything and that it's not valuable. So how would you convince your freshman peers that they should vote?
Please note that you have 30 seconds, not a minute.
Thank you. To that concern, you're right. It is voting. That's the thing. We have to figure out what are we going to do as far as that. I mean, we can express all day long to vote. But just like you can get Tiana Taylor and everybody goes to that, everybody knows about it, you have to make for it. Why are they voting? And certain people will start to vote. And we'll get higher numbers for that.
Thank you for the question. Truth be told, I'm not sure. I think that the best way that we can show people that their vote matters is by having them vote on something and then acting on it as soon as possible. That is the best way to show that change can happen by voting. Thank you very much.
I agree with you that voting in the real world, that a lot of people don't tend to vote, but also they don't tend to vote because of accessibility. I believe that we need to make sure that our students are accessible in knowing when voting time is. Because maybe they just didn't hear about when voting time was. Maybe people only posted it on Instagram. Like I said, I feel like Instagram being the only way of communication is terrible, truthfully. So I think that we need to start maybe putting flyers up, maybe in your doors, knocking, hey guys, don't forget to vote, like already saying that, different things, emails. So that's how I think we can get more people to vote. Thank you.
Actually, a student came up when I saw her on my KP. She was like, "Well, I'm not gonna vote." And I asked her, "Why don't you vote and why don't you care?" She says, "Because all the student leaders I've seen, they never made a change. What makes you so different from them?" So I think being that change and being just authentic and making connections with people, stopping them one-on-one and asking them what are their issues and being accessible to them, and that's how we'll get people to believe in you and believe in your mission so they can vote.
For me, I think looking past the past election and seeing the lack of voter turnout and seeing that the results did not pan out so well, and expressing that in our real life and then comparing it to now, I feel like that would help benefit or help influence people to vote and what they want to do, and showing the results of what happened in our most recent administration and seeing what happens if you don't vote.
Thank you.
It's about making them understand that their perspective matters and that leaders are here for them. As President Ware said during the inauguration, some students believe it is a privilege for their constituents to see them. I believe if we foster the cohesiveness on this campus, that it's not a privilege, that these perspectives matter, then two, this freshman class will begin to care about the future of this university. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Antoine Walken. I'm a sophomore architecture major, political science minor from the Turks and Caicos. I currently serve as a senator to the CEA and the University and External Affairs Chair in the Senate. You guys are running in a special election. That means that you're running to join our current administration. So my question is, how do your platforms and the legislation you plan to draft align with the current goals and objectives of the 14th administration?
Thank you for that. As we all saw with President Ware and Vice President Garcia, they're going beyond the scopes of this university. And I believe that the NOW campaign not only correlates with that, but directly feeds input, because we should go beyond the scopes right now. And with their 3-phase plans, I believe that my pillars of accessibility, accountability, and authenticity can speed up the process of representation and reclaiming the promise of this university that feels so cloudy right now.
I'm gonna be honest, I am not up to date to their administration, but I have seen on Instagram, Vice President Garcia's, Instagram posts about Howard and, showing information about the history of Howard, and I feel like his, movement to do that, to express the history and what we stand on from before and growing from before and becoming something better now, I feel like I really resonate with that, with my platform of moving towards the future.
I feel like Howard's legacy isn't Howard without the students. So my platform is Your Voice, My Mission. So I feel like being accessible to the freshman class and having having a diverse voice and a diverse input, and just pushing that and advocating for others. Because I feel like sometimes some people might not want to tell you, some people might not tell you what they want to do. You have to go up to these people and ask for them. So I feel like my forums and thank you.
So with President Ware and Vice President Garcia, I appreciate how they're very accessible, and I want to continue that. I can talk to Peyton anytime. I have his number. I also have the president's number, and I appreciate how they stand on being accessible to our students. So that's how I want to continue that legacy.
Good evening. I don't know yet what the main issues or concerns that the freshman class are facing aside from myself at the moment. But I had mentioned before that there are several acts and bills that have not yet been signed by the 14th, that were suggested by the 14th administration. And I do agree with several of those, and thus they are already in line. Thank you.
President Ware and Vice President Garcia have made some great pillars to what their administration is going to be. I think for mine, it goes to my slogan, your choice, your voice, your vice. But at the same time, we also can definitely, I just love how they want more freshman representation. That's one of the pillars, is representation of freshmen. Our voice is very needed. It's actually more powerful than you think. So that's how I feel. It definitely go hand in hand with the.
Is there anyone else have a question? This now concludes the audience question portion of tonight's event. Let's give our candidates a round of applause. Commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you're following the Commission Instagram account for updates about the upcoming crossfire election schedule. Candidates, your announcements.
For the next HUSA members at large, you can go ahead and switch seats with them. You can leave your bags at this seat. Thank you.
I did good. Good job.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Alright. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mia Thomas. I'm a junior architecture major from New York City, and I currently serve as a staff member for this year's election commission.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amara James. I'm a junior political science and sports management double major from Tampa, Florida, and I currently serve as director of undergraduate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Trinity Hill. I'm a junior international business major, political science minor from Dallas, Texas, and I have the pleasure of serving as the associate director of undergraduate relations.
This speak out is designed to give candidates an opportunity to share their platform and plans for their desired position with the student body. It is also an opportunity for the student body to get to know the candidates in a more intimate setting, beyond campaign posters and flyers. Tonight's event will be separated into a moderated question portion in addition to an audience question portion as well. For the moderated question portion, you guys each have 1 minute to answer the question. Before we begin with the questions, please take 30 seconds to introduce yourself and your platform.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nyla Morton. I'm a freshman political science and Spanish double major from New Jersey. Part of my platform is control the narrative. It's as freshmen, you kind of come into this environment that's unfamiliar to you, that's new. But I think as a senator, as a freshman senator specifically, it's my job to help us understand what our rights is and what we can communicate and contribute to driving legislation and driving change.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joella Mayberry. I'm a freshman honors international affairs major from Oakland, California. I'm running on a platform of 3 S's: support, safety, and sustenance. A lot of people before me talked about safety as a big issue, a big concern right now. So I really want to hear students' needs. I'm focusing on sustenance because we are in a little bit of a food desert right now with our dining options being limited. And support, I want to be accessible and available to you. I want to hear your concerns, and I want to be your voice.
Okay, y'all, before I get started, time out. I haven't had my voice since Sunday, so just let me cook. Okay, so hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Amaya Lawrence, first year political science major from Tallahassee, Florida, by way of Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm running on a platform called the Bison Blueprint. To me, a Bison stands for Building, Initiative, Strengthening, Outreach, and Navigating the Needs for the Freshman Class, which I will do if y'all would like to. Thank you.
So for our first question, what are the top 2 issues facing the freshman class, and what steps will you take to remedy these issues if elected?
I guess I want to preface by saying I don't think any of these issues are unique to freshmen, but I think freshmen come in with obviously the least amount of background to solve the questions. Number 1 is communication. How we're run around is forever a real thing, but I think for freshmen it's understanding what can I do on campus, clubs, activities, events, everything. It's kind of this messed up system of trying to figure out which is the right Instagram to follow, and you pray and hope that it pops up on your page just in time. My plan is to implement a weekly newsletter that would go out to all grades that would include official clubs and unofficial clubs in that sense, that would show what their events are for the week, for the next 2 weeks, somewhere that each student could look and know that there is one place to find everything they need without having to looking on 8 different websites and the 9th page of Google.
So the 2 issues that I want to focus on that I think are really not just facing our class, like Anna said, but kind of everyone, is feeling heard. A lot of people, they have concerns and they don't know who to talk to. They don't have anyone advocating for them. They don't have anyone looking out for them. So I want to be that voice, someone who's going to take your concerns seriously, maybe be about safety, maybe be about not being able to get the mentorship you need. And then secondly, I want to focus on kind of building a community. When I was polling people were saying that they didn't feel like they could reach out to upperclassmen for help. I want to kind of merge that gap between underclassmen and upperclassmen so that we can really feel like a community, because we are Howard University. It's a great legacy to walk in.
I would probably have to say the 2 main things that are like kind of hindering the freshman class per se. The first one would probably be outreach. I know for me personally, when it was, during Bison Week, I was hearing a lot of things literally the day before it was happening, so I didn't have time in advance to plan out. And I understand, everybody has this perception that, we're Howard Bison, so we can do it all, but I honestly feel like that's just not logical. People need, days in advance to be able to prepare for a certain, a situation or whatever may be going on, as well as another platform point that I would like to talk about would be the initiative and communication between the faculty and staff and the students. I feel that if we're paying $64,000 a year to be here, it doesn't take a lot to send me an email prior to when I need to be at an event or information that I need.
Thank you, Candace. For our second question, how do you plan to collaborate across other branches of student government to make sure every voice of the freshman class is heard? Starting the opposite.
Okay, so to make sure that every office in the freshman class is heard, I would like to create something more fun. I feel like everybody is stuck on this because you're in a senator position or you're in a president position, you have to be so stuck up all the time. I feel like we need to create more initiatives and events so people can actually come to get to know each other rather than us just sitting in a meeting and saying what we want to do for the class. We need to learn who each other are so we know what we need to do in the class by, reaching different people from different backgrounds.
So similarly, like other people have said, we are a big school, that's point blank. It's a lot of opinions, it's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different needs. And so I would like to have some more community building opportunities because I feel like you can't really look out for someone, or you may not feel like you want to look out for someone if you don't have like a connection with them. You're going to be more obliged to work to build this community better when you feel closer to other people. So I want to do some more community building activities so we can work all 3 branches, all 4 classes, so we can really feel a sense of community and a need and a want to help each other out.
I think as students, we all kind of have a lot going on 24/7, and I think it becomes hard to kind of keep this mental list of things that you want to change, fix, or issues that you have. So I hope to create, maybe anonymous or not, a suggestion box for all intents and purposes, a way for students to complain, to suggest, to open feedback into a Google form that immediately goes to a Google Sheet. There are ways you can populate a Google Sheet to populate into the main concerns under if it's financial aid, if it's issues I have with dining services, with finding campus events, a way that is not only helpful for freshmen, but helpful for all grade levels, some way to understand what the issues are in the spring semester and the fall semester when they pertain the most to the student body.
What's one specific piece of legislation you plan to draft during your term that would directly affect freshmen?
Like I said, my hope is not only to improve communications, but also to improve our dining hall systems. I'm working with the meal team to understand the issues that we've had with Grubhub systems, with swiping in and out of dining halls, with meal plans. And my hope is to kind of take a deep dive and a deep look into what it takes to run that meal team. If they need help, what referendums we need to approve or what referendums we need to write in order to make their system run more efficiently for us. Because in the end, these systems are built to help us. And I think that we have the power to kind of fix those systems and change those systems. And like I said, in regards to communication, also creating a weekly newsletter, a way to know when things are happening now. And that way, every club, every activity can list their events into a massive sheet, a massive doc, and they would go out to students in a way that's efficient and in one spot and doesn't require you looking over pages and pages.
So one piece of main legislation that I would like to work on is some sort of requirement for student leaders, maybe org leaders, or government leaders to be accessible to their constituents so that their concerns can directly be heard. A lot of people say they don't feel able to talk to people who are kind of in power and sense. And so I would like something that would connect us so that we are able to directly have dedicated time so we can really get to know each other. I also want to focus, going back to my support aspect, creating more of a sense of community, having constituents being able to come into these kind of meetings to really hear what's happening and how this stuff will directly affect them so they don't feel like it's out of their control and out of their reach, and that after you may elect me, that they have no way to reach me, no way to have a say in what I'm doing.
Okay, so one piece of legislation I would like to enact if I was elected as a HUSA senator would be to start something that's also a part of my campaign called the Voice of the Bison. It'll be a monthly gathering event in the town hall, so probably I would want to have it in the Blackburn Auditorium, but it'll be an event open to everybody in the student body, but it'll be highlighted for freshmen to come mainly because that's who I'll be speaking for. But freshmen can come in, and talk to the 2 senators that will be elected and kind of say, what problems they're having with administration, what are they doing, what aren't they doing? And they'll kind of compare to what administration is giving us as far as feedback, and we'll be able to put it together to get the best of both worlds needs met.
As senator at large, your position reaches farther than just the freshman class. How do you plan to advocate for all students while still uplifting the concerns of freshmen?
Okay, kind of to piggyback off of what I said with the Voice of the Bison, like the monthly event, it'll be held at the end of the month. So it'll kind of be something that's encouraged for everyone to come because it's people that have been in this university longer than us that can kind of come in and tell us, you know, I feel like this is also a problem for my class. So can we collaborate and do this because I can't do it all by myself. You know, I'm only a freshman. I don't know as much as they may know. So I feel like if we're able to come together and collaborate, we can make a big difference here.
The two kind of main things I want to work on to not just focus on the freshman class, but all students are, I want to work on, sorry, give me 1 second. I want to have an opportunity at the beginning of kind of maybe each term for all student leaders to meet with their constituents and then bring those concerns to our larger meetings so that we don't forget what we're really in it for. And that way, when we all come together, we're like, hey, maybe someone has the same issue. You may not know that because they may be a senior, maybe a freshman, but if we have the fresh concerns and the fresh opinions of our constituents in our heads when we're going forward and working as a community, we can use all the resources we have. I also want to uplift student organizations. They have a lot of great events. We had a Bison teach-in a few weeks ago, and those kind of things are important. They benefit the larger student body, and I know student orgs have the power, they have the ideas, they have the creativity to uplift these ideas, and I feel like that should be brought up more so that we can take advantage of those resources.
And I think to both their points, it's kind of, these issues that freshmen have aren't necessarily unique to freshmen. And I think implementing some sort of, suggestion box, a way to understand feedback from every aspect, whether that be in this form, or are you listing your grade level, are you listing your major, your college that you're a part of, you can filter out issues that cross colleges, that cross grade levels, and that way your leadership can come to a meeting and be like, hey, these are our top 3 concerns in school and business, these are our top 3 concerns in co-ops, and if these issues align, then that needs to become a side issue that they collaborate on and they can work together. And that way, if we have a running list and accessible to the public at that, you can understand what is being worked on, what concerns everyone has, and does someone in another aspect share your concern also?
For our final question in the moderated question portion, some student leaders are criticized for being inaccessible or not making good on their word. How will you uphold transparency and accountability in your role?
I think it becomes kind of far removed when you get elected. Sometimes it kind of feels that you are in this higher up position. You're not necessarily still a student. You're not connected to the student body. And I think a lot of that comes from the language that we use when we're meeting, when it's these public forums, and it's not a meet and greet, or it's not getting to know somebody. And I think maybe that's just even Instagram polls or little things that not necessarily, you don't feel like you're speaking to somebody higher up, but you're speaking to a student, you can complain freely. My hope is that people feel not only they can speak to me day by day, but that they feel more comfortable coming to meetings and understanding that they have advocacy. And part of that comes from understanding your student rights. And well, I'm sure a lot of us here have read the Constitution, but not the average student is reading a 70-page document that entails what so-and-so officer can and cannot do for you. I think it comes with, before you're on campus, before you're freshman, understanding that you also have that voice too, that you can complain, you are allowed to talk to these elected officials, and getting more engagement when it comes to events.
So I'm an introvert at heart. I believe in quiet power, the power of not just speaking, but listening. So for me, I would focus on not just hearing people who are like comfortable talking, but I want to take in the fact that people are introverted. They may not want to come to me and tell me their concerns or their issues. So I want to use multiple versions of feedback collection, maybe Google Forms, some kind of online polling, but I also want to have in-person events so that if that's how you feel that you can best express yourself, that that's the way you're able to talk to me. And so I want to speak to all students, not just people I may know, people I may not know, people in my school, people not in my school. I want to be available to everyone, and I want to meet everyone's different needs and their levels of comfortability. So I want to use multiple methods, like I said, in person, some kind of social event, if that's where you feel most comfortable getting to know me, some kind of more formal event, if that's where you're most comfortable getting to know me. I want to meet you where you are.
I think when it comes to transparency and
allowing somebody to know who you truly are. I feel like it depends on how you allow people to perceive you. You know, if you're coming off as too stuck up or you're above everybody, nobody's gonna want to talk to you like, girl, be for real. In my opinion, I feel that it's, you know, how you come off. I feel like you should allow the people who you're leading to and let them know that, you know, you're not talking as the voice of them, but you're talking with them. You're allowing them to know like what you're gonna do with what they're saying, and you're allowing their opinions to be heard.
Thank you, candidates. This now concludes the moderated question portion of tonight's event. The audience will now have an opportunity to pose questions to the candidates. Audience members, please make sure that your questions are general, as this is not a crossfire, and any pointed questions should be reserved for the event. Candidates, you have 30 seconds to respond. Does the audience have any questions? All right. This now concludes the event. On behalf of the commission, we would like to thank you for your attendance and participation in tonight's event. Please make sure that you are following the commission's Instagram account for updates about the upcoming crossfire and elections.
Okay, thank you everyone for attending. Please give the candidates a round. So that doesn't conclude the Speak Out for Royal Court and HUSA Senator Member at Large today. Thank you guys again for attending, and please get home safely.